Shout out Q. Shout out Q.
A cold, chilly evening wrapping up practice for Sherando Lady Warriors Softball team indoors. Joining me is outfielder junior Mady Cox. First and foremost, thank you for your time. How does it feel getting back out there another season of softball in a competitive area when it comes to softball?
I'm really excited for the season to start. I think our team's really good this year, and I think all of our new additions are really going to help us out this year, and I think we're going to prove a lot.
Just take me through last year. Obviously, not where you wanted to end up, but huge strides within the course of the playoffs. What do you take out of last season that you want to sort of really focus on and improve on, maybe even more going into this season?
Obviously not what we wanted, but I think it was something good for us to happen because it just gives us that fire and that motivation, and I think that this year we're going to come back and better, and I think we should hit better off of her. Well, Cadence is gone now, so now it's Katie and Sophia, so I think it's going to be a lot better this year.
And it just seems like in this area alone, softball in this area is massive. And just going back to the James Wood State game 2 years ago, they packed the stands there. But just going to show a rivalry like Sherando Millbrook, Sherando James Wood, just what is that like softball and the growth in this area?
I don't know. There's good and bad aspects. Like, we've played with 99% of these girls for, like, all of our life. So we've, like, grown up with all of them. So it's good in that aspect that we have friendship, but it's bad because I love them and all, but I want to win. Like, I don't really care about anything else. Like, I'm really competitive and I want to win.
So take me through your off season. Did that consist of travel, taking a rest, or what was that like after the completion of last season, getting set for another season coming up soon?
There's no rest. With travel, like I play competitive travel ball, so I go year round. So right after school ball, you go right into summer workouts. Right after summer, you go to fall, and then you just continuously grind, get ready for the next season.
And what really stands out about travel, sort of the landscape of travel softball, and how that can help you improve when it comes to your high school softball season?
The competition's either better or worse with travel. Like, it's hard to say. Like, sometimes will be girls like clocking at like 66, and then sometimes be like 40. So it's just hard. But I think with high school, it's overall like harder competition. But travel definitely prepares you like mentally and physically for high school ball.
Is it sort of the same as travel baseball? You have a numerous number of games throughout the course of a weekend, and if so, how does that help you with the amount of games you have during a travel weekend to help you sort of with endurance when it comes to a high school softball game when you're doing one game doubleheader at the max?
Yeah, it's a lot of games. Like, you can play, like, one weekend, me and my team played up to, like, 10, and we won the championship. And just with that, like, I still get, like, winded at, like, high school games. So travel is just, like, it's just better to, like, help you, like, stay indoors throughout the whole season, like, mentally and physically. But I think high school is harder.
Yeah, absolutely. And getting to this high school season, you've had some numerous opportunities to get outside with the warm weather. Obviously, not outside today, but how is it maximizing the amount of time you have outside early on when it comes to the start of the regular season coming up here soon?
Yeah, you have to take advantage of the outside while you have it, because once you hit inside, it's just straight conditioning. You need to, like, prepare your body for all the hard weather and just, like, even bad weather, you need to prepare yourself. But it's definitely good to take advantage of the outside while you have it.
So how does it feel just getting back with a group of girls that are around? And I know you're a junior on the team, so what's it like sort of helping some of younger girls who are newer to the program in terms of getting them acclimated to, like, what's expected?
You know, last season was good. I was obviously a sophomore, so I was younger, and this season older, so I'm ready to come out. And I'm like a very vocal person, so I just try to help my best to help the little ones out, or little as in like freshmen and sophomores. And I'm just ready for this season to start. Last year was really good, and I'm just ready to make it better this season.
And just what are you looking forward to most as you're getting ready for a couple scrimmages before the start of regular season softball? Because softball is always a grind, putting in work, and just what are you looking forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to improving myself. Last year, I had a really good season. I was all region and all district. Like, I made a lot, and I have a lot to prove this season. I talked a lot in the off season. Tried to stay humble, but sometimes there were moments I caught myself talking, so I have to prove it this season.
There you have it, Mady Cox ahead of the Lady Warriors softball season that is just around the corner. Really appreciate your time. Best of luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Now joining me, returning pitcher for the Sherando Lady Warriors, Lily Ray. Lily, how does it feel just getting back out with your team? Some time spent outside, I would imagine maximizing those opportunities outside, indoors today. But what's it like just getting back into the swing of things?
It kind of feels like we never left. I mean, I know we have new people, but it always kind of feels like you're just picking up from the last year.
So I've seen you pitch last year, and tremendous job, by the way. Just take me through your off season. What really stood out to you in the off season? Maybe were you working more towards trying to get better and better? Travel season, taking a break in between. What did that look like for you?
Travel season was all summer and all fall. Played a lot of tournaments. That was mostly about like thinking about college, but then it's like a completely different vibe from here because you're not really thinking about college here. So a lot of batters over the fall, but then here you're really focusing more on like your spots and like getting one game. It's not as much, so it's like you're focused on one specific goal in high school, but when you're in travel, it's like a lot different. Then you're focused on everything.
Does it help when you're playing numerous travel games in a weekend when it comes to your high school season, only playing one in at most a doubleheader, but you have numerous games throughout the course of a week?
Yeah, it helps a lot, but it's completely different. It feels like pitching one high school game, it feels the same as playing like 5 in a Saturday. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So take me through, obviously, just getting back with your squad, some returners on the team, but some new players as well. Just what's that like getting in with some of the newer players and bringing them up, being one of those leaders on the team, if you will, and just telling them what's sort of expected out of this program?
Well, like the main thing you never want to do is act like you're trying less as you get older, and you always want to set like a positive example for them to keep wanting to get better and like never be like satisfied. And then you just want to like be a better leader and help them fill in the spots, especially if like there's stuff that you know that they don't. You always want to tell them, but not in a rude way.
Yeah, absolutely. So just take me through sort of the eyes of a pitcher when it comes to any game, but I'm just for the sake of it, the Northwestern District, the competition in this local area is huge. Just take me through how focused do you have to be? How locked in are you when it comes to you're on the rubber, the pitching mound, and getting set to pitch? What's that like, and how intense are moments like that throughout the course of a season?
I think it's intense, but it's like my favorite thing ever. So it's really fun for me, and I know all the other people on the team, like they're all my travel teammates. So like I know what to do, and I know that like I want to win, but obviously if I don't, like I know I'm facing good competition, and I always do want to beat them and stuff, but I know that if I'm struggling, like there's people to help, and that it's okay.
So with that too, some of the competition, would you say that maybe gives you kind of an advantage in a way?
Not at all. They take batting practice off me at practice like 3 times a week, so no.
Yeah, I get it. I see. So obviously last season, Lily, not where you wanted to end up, but making great strides throughout the course of the postseason. What are you maybe sort of taking out of last season that you want to build on when it comes to this season?
Staying through till the end, maybe try not to fizzle out at like practices towards the end of the season, maybe taking those a little bit more seriously. I mean, I feel like we have more practice at the beginning of the season, so sometimes that might be why we're better in the beginning of the season, and then just focusing at practice at the end of the season would be better.
And just last but not least, what are you looking forward to the most with scrimmages coming up and full season ahead?
Just ready for some new opportunities, new season. I like the fresh slate of the beginning, just getting a new chance. Like everything starts over, so
Absolutely. There you have it from Lily Ray, returning pitcher for the Sherando Lady Warriors softball team. Can't thank you enough for your time. Keep up doing what you do best, and wishing you all the best.
Thank you.
Now joining me, sophomore second baseman Leighanne Lowe, getting set for another season of Lady Warriors softball. How does it feel just getting back into the swing of things? I know it's early, but competition against other teams is right around the corner.
I love being back on the field. It's just like a second home to me, and I've been itching for it since the season ended.
Not the way you wanted to end last season, but just in your mind, what are you taking out of last season that you sort of want to improve on, maybe collectively as a team, or just yourself to try to improve and take the next step, get over that hump in a sense?
I think as a team, like, we come out hard during the gate, but I think going hard throughout the whole game is a very important part, because during that end, it just got away from us. Not the way we wanted it to end, but we fought hard through the whole season. So I think that's one goal that we need. And personally, I just want to work on, like, a mental aspect of the game. Like, you can work physically as much as you can, but if the mental game's not there, it doesn't really amount to much.
As a second baseman, you're taking a lot of ground balls, hits, what have you, in the dirt. How important is it that you're maximizing your time outside early on during the tryout period, and a couple of those nice days early last week in your position as a second baseman? Because I know probably the dirt feel is probably pretty huge when it comes to taking live ground ball hits, but what's that like getting out there so early?
It's definitely good to get out there early, because getting that real feel from the dirt and the field, you just can't recreate it in a gym or inside on turf. So getting those crazy hops sometimes just helps you stay down on the ball and really stay through it.
Absolutely. So just getting back into practice season right around the corner with your group, take me through what it's like being back with some of the girls on this team, and how excited are you for the start of this new season?
We've been really excited to get back on the field and start playing again. Like, I think everybody's very excited for our first scrimmage on Tuesday. We're ready to get back out there and start playing again, and collectively we're all pumped, and the energy's really good. I have a great feeling for this season.
You mentioned the energy. How huge is it that you have that energy? I would imagine you're closely together when it comes to the start of the season. You sort of expect what people are doing, how you work well together, different tendencies. I would imagine that helps in a way when it comes to the regular season and making sure you're well meshed together and playing a clean game of softball.
I think coming together as a team is great. Like, the more we can get out there and practice on the field, the better it is just to come together. I think being one is just great. Like, you don't want to be really cliquey and just have your own groups, but I think we're really coming together as a team. We're, like, solidifying together.
Leighanne Lowe, the start of a softball season for the Sherando Lady Warriors is right around the corner. Really appreciate your time. Best of luck to you this season.
Thank you.
Now joining me, head coach of the Sherando Lady Warriors, Mark Connor, embarking on yet another season of Sherando Lady Warriors softball. Coach, thank you for your time, and just what's it like getting back out there, the grind of a very long and competitive softball season?
Well, Josh, we were excited. We had a good winter workout. We had a lot of turnout. We're excited about our program this year. We feel like we have great chemistry coming in early in the season here. We put 4 on the roster, 3 freshmen and a sophomore this year that we brought in to fill our varsity spots, and we're just excited to get out there and start playing some ball.
Last season, obviously not where you want to end up, and it just seems it's always against James Wood. And it just over the years. But just looking at last season, what really stood out to you about last season? What are you maybe trying to work on a little bit more to take into this season?
Well, I guess the key is our girls got to believe that they can win these games. There's always going to be adversity. James Wood's always a tough opponent. Millbrook, all the area schools are getting better, so the competition is a high level, and that's where you want to be at. So, a couple innings, made kind of broke us in that game against James Wood, but you got to learn from it, and you got to remember how bitter taste it had in your mouth when you left the ball field. So I think the returners are sensing that, and they're trying to grow from that experience, and that's the only thing you can do. And really, when the season starts, we got to leave that behind us, and we've got to start fresh, and we know it's just going to be one game at a time. Try to win every inning. If you win the majority of your innings in a game, obviously you're going to win ball games. So that's what we're focused on, just trying to clean things up. And really, it's just about getting more mentally composed and tough in these high pressure games. I mean, when you come out to a James Wood Sherando softball game, I mean, it almost feels like the whole county's down there watching you play. So it's high level, and again, they've had a great program for many years. So, but those are the games you want to be in.
Absolutely. So you mentioned winter workouts, sort of getting your team back in early to sort of get working on sort of what you want to do in terms of the softball program. How huge is that? Getting your team just working out in the weight room, what have you, early on before the start of tryouts even?
Well, I think really that's where the chemistry sets in for us. This is probably, since I've been here, this is probably our best turnout that we've had with, student athletes coming out. Whether they first-time newcomers to the program, whether they, were able to make the cut. We've added to our JV roster. We're carrying more on the JV level. So I just think it's important for the overall chemistry of the program, and these girls can get to know each other through the winter, and even our fall workout, and it just makes it easier on the coaching staff because you start seeing things early of what you like and what maybe you dislike, but it really the dugout, everybody's got to get along in that dugout.
The girls I just spoke to earlier, it seems like they have a great camaraderie together. What's that like, having your team in such a close bond, great camaraderie early on before the season even starts?
Well, it's always a pleasure to see, that they've got the camaraderie. Again, chemistry. We'll keep talking about that, but they're focused on our team goals. And we've set it at a high level this year, but we do feel like that that we will compete, and we'll just have to see how this thing shakes out. And it's all about, at the end of the day, is eliminating your mistakes on the field. Never beat yourself, and we always feel that if you do that, you're always going to have a chance to win.
So just take me through early on, a couple nice days last week into this week, early this week, just maximizing that on-field time instead of in the gym. You're getting the feel of a softball field, what have you. How huge is that early on, just to have that outside time so early?
Oh, it's great for any program. I mean, you're limited in the gym. You do a lot of drills and things like that. But we lost 3 talented seniors last year, so we're trying to look and see where those areas that we can improve, what players are going to fill those spots. We're going to probably shift around a little bit with some players because they're versatile, utility. But we're still in the process. But I know that we got 13 strong-minded ladies right now that are working very hard. To earn their spot on that team. So we're excited to see that. The internal competition is always great to see.
Absolutely. And you mentioned your team. You have a lot of pieces you can try out with your utilities. How huge is that your girls can sort of play numerous positions if needed and they know what to do?
It's always reassuring to know that, a lot of it depends on what you do on the mound. If your pitcher gets in trouble, then you gotta make some position changes possibly, or God forbid you have injuries, those type of things. But you gotta always have a plan B, as you well know, on the field in case any of those things occur. You just gotta always be prepared for what's next.
And I know coming out of last season, your team, a lot of accolades. Lily Ray had a lot of accolades too, and a lot of, all district region stuff. Just take me through what that's like when you have players on your team who get those awards like that sort of recognition based off a successful season like that.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about them. I mean, they're the ones putting in the time, the hard work, not only through the high school, but a lot of them playing travel ball. They may be doing pitching lessons, hitting lessons, but there's several players on our team and even throughout the area. Their goal is to get to the next level. So it's rewarding as a coach just to see them put the effort in to get to that next level. I always say, we're just a small piece of that. They have to have the willpower and the strong-minded willingness to to put the work in and those type of things that it takes to if they got college aspirations to play, and it's tough to get into college and play, but we got several that's their goal, and if they put their mind to it, I feel like they can be successful once they leave the halls of Sherando.
So just moving forward, you have scrimmages coming up and then into your season. I just want to get your thoughts on the schedule laid out for your team this year. Just what are your thoughts on some of the competition you'll be facing this year, not just in district but out of district as well?
I mean, it's like every year. I mean, we just talk about, the competition's getting better. I don't feel like you should ever take any team lightly. You're always going to hear, buzzwords, if you will, about certain teams, certain things that they're doing. I don't think the way our coaching staff operates, we don't really prepare that way. We just get our team ready, the way we know how we need to get them ready for any competition. It's our philosophy doesn't change a whole lot. You just got to outplay whoever you're playing, whether it's tonight or tomorrow night. You just got to be ready to play and be ready to battle, and it's always fun to get out there and do that.
You mentioned before, it seems like when Sherando and James Wood plays, it feels like the whole county's out there. How does that feel knowing that people are out there for getting not just Sherando, James Wood, but any big rivalry like that? The support behind softball, it feels like it's growing in this area year in and year out. I just want to get your thoughts on what your thoughts are on the growth of softball and the support from fan attendance and what have you.
Well, it's great to see. I mean, we know I've lived in this county all my life, so there's a tremendous amount of growth going on, obviously. But it's fun to see where softball has developed over the last several years. And I know I could speak for myself, but all the county teams are very talented, and it's always battles when we play them. So it's always a fun game to be in, right? You always want to win them, but most importantly, it's always fun to be involved in them. So to get out there in those big games and see those crowds, to me, it's exciting. That's what we get up every morning and do this for. Just to go out there and have fun with the kids and watch them go out there and do their thing.
Sherando Lady Warriors Softball right around the corner. Pleased to be joined by a friend of the podcast, head coach Mark Connor. I've known you for quite some time, Coach. Appreciate the time having us out here, and looking forward to working with you all season.
Nice seeing you, Josh, and thanks for having me.